Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ain't My Podcast. I'm Paul,
And I'm Dave.
and this week we're discussing the episode Happy Anniversary. This episode originally aired February 6th in the year 2001, attracting approximately 4.33 million viewers. Alrighty. Now, for what video games we were playing at the time. There's actually not that many releases for this week.
February, yeah, understandable.
Yeah. So, and actually, two of them are Game Boy Color games. So,
Also understandable, but
first up, we have a game called Action Man: Search for Base X.
it's a game I'm supposedly discovering.
Yeah, Action Man is like, I think it's like a British knockoff of like G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Also, on the same day, on February 6th as well, there was a little game released on the Game Boy Color as well called Metal Walker.
Supposed yay?
It's like a mech RPG game that apparently has some similarities to like pinball. I don't know how this works, but it sounds interesting, and it reviewed quite well at the time.
It sounds like an interesting concept at the very least, but yeah, no recollection of it.
I don't know how well it did in North America because I've literally never heard of this game.
Hmm.
And finally, if neither of those were to your liking, or maybe you just didn't have a Game Boy Color, but you had a PC that could play some games, well, there was a little game that came out from EA called Clive Barker's Undying. I take it you're not a fan of Clive Barker.
I honestly don't even know what the heck it is.
Oh, Clive Barker is like a horror writer,
Oh.
and he's made his short stories and stuff have been turned into like a bunch of movies and also video games.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with like the Hellraiser series?
Not very much, no. Just the name is familiar.
Okay, I was gonna say because he wrote the story that Hellraiser's based off of. Alrighty, so let us move on to the movies. So, what was the number one movie at the box office this week, David? Do you have any guesses?
Something in February. Yeah, I wouldn't know. Yeah, I've got nothing.
Alrighty, number one film in America this week is a little movie called Hannibal.
Okay. Like vaguely familiar. I understand it's a very much a thing when it came out, but it's kind of the niche sort of thing, I believe.
I mean, it's technically part of the same franchise as Silence of the Lambs, but
Mm,
um, from memory, this one isn't nearly as good.
kind of a case of tried to have the lightning strike twice, but yeah, not too much success.
Well, and they couldn't get a lot of the cast back, and there was a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't help.
Yes. And number one song in America this week. Any guesses?
Hmm. Get around that time. I'm believing from our last week's discussion that Destiny's Child has finished up their reign of the first place position for the time,
They
or
have, yes.
hmm. Yeah, there's nothing else that I can immediately think of.
So, the number one song in America, and I am not familiar with literally any of this, is a song called It Wasn't Me by Shaggy featuring Ricardo Rickrock Dusant. Dusant. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Again, at the time, I'm not sure how big popularity Shaggy had, but he had his moment, so I wouldn't be surprised that he'd be up there for the time. But yeah, I have no recollection of the song or any sort of bit from that.
Yeah, I no idea, but as with most things like this, I have no idea. Anyway, so let us get into the episode we're here to discuss.
Hmm.
Okay, so we start off with Wesley and Cordelia cleaning up their new office, discussing their future as investigators without Angel, and most likely without enough clients to keep the business running for long. At the hotel, Angel awakes to the sounds of Lorne singing the Star Spangled Banner down in the lobby. He tells Angel about a man who came in to sing at his club, and that when he read the man's aura, Lorne was knocked out, and he realized that the world would be ending, specifically tomorrow. Unfortunately, the man left before the host could before the host came around, and the host is all Lauren. I'll be using it interchangeably. Uh,
Alrighties.
and Lauren currently has no idea who or where the man is. I don't think they've actually named him Lauren yet, but it's Lauren.
Yeah.
The man singing at the bar was actually a physicist named Jean Rainey, who's working on a formula to stop time. His girlfriend, Denise, visits him and they talk about their plans for the first anniversary. Without any other leads on Jean, Angel and Lauren check out karaoke bars and are pointed towards the college that Jean attends. After an unsuccessful attempt to test his formula, Jean leaves his work area and two Lubar demons emerge from the shadows to alter the formula Jean has been working on. Wesley, Gunn, and Cordelia mope about their job troubles, but Virginia stops by with food, champagne, and a case that they can take to earn a lot of money. I love the design of these Lubar demons. They just look like I don't even know how to explain what they look like. They just look like old guys.
Guys with at least the discerning features of one or two interesting kind of facial features. Uh, pa- palely white sort of skin, and then the typical pointy ears. It's like look like humans, but still demons.
Yeah, they could almost pass as demon or as humans if they didn't have like the big black circles under their eyes.
Meh.
Gene is successful with the initial test of his equipment. Angel and Lauren check out yearbooks at the college library to look for the name of the man. Denise confesses to her friend that she has to break up with Gene because things aren't working out and plans to break up with him that night after sleeping with him. Gene overhears this and returns to the lab dejected. While getting directions to Gene and the physics lab, Angel is attacked by the Lubar demons. Finally, at the physics lab, it is discovered that Gene is gone and so is his equipment. He has plans to freeze time during a moment of love between him and Denise. Gunn kills a demon that he and the others were hired to protect a rich family from. Wesley discovers the real truth behind the murder, that one of the family hired the demon to kill one of the men and gain control of the family money. Dun dun dun. Angel and Lauren take care of several Lubar demons who try to stand in their way. Angel does most of it, and the host just kind of sings at some of them.
Managed to knock out two of them, but yeah, he uses his assets.
He does, and it's fantastic. Before Lubar demons. Then rushes to stop Gene before it's too late. Gene freezes Denise and himself in a moment of passion, but Angel is able to get past several more Lubar demons, then stop the machine and undo the whole process. Gene says he didn't know the overall effects of his actions. He just didn't want to lose his love. However, Angel and Lauren tell Gene that things need to keep moving on, otherwise it wouldn't be interesting. As Gene goes to get some beer, Lauren tells Angel that this is the first time in a long time he is connecting with someone. Angel reflects on how he treated his team and feels bad knowing he left them out in the cold. At the new office, Wesley, Cordelia, and Gunn party in celebration of their success until a man shows up in need of their services. So that was the episode Happy Anniversary. What did you think of this one, Dave?
It turned out fairly good. If the case at the beginning of the episode, there was a little bit of that this kind of seems like almost kind of the building blocks of kind of one of the filler episodes. It probably isn't going to be good, but it's interesting enough that it gives kind of a little bit more of the hook of not so much connecting the stories, but kind of giving aspects from each sort of thing that's happening. Um, of course, with Angel and Lawrence, it was just marvelous seeing their dynamic together in that sort of case. Uh, Lawrence just discovering all the particular things and coming to Angel like, hey, the world's kind of ending. You're kind of one of the main people that kind of works on this. You might need to do something about it.
We do learn a few other kind of important things, although they're kind of said without a lot of emphasis. So we find out when Lauren's talking to Angel, he mentions that British guy and how he's going to play an important. Oh, never mind. So I wonder if
Yes,
that'll.
kind of bringing up points that stuff is going to be happening and you're kind of a main player in it, but yeah, there's some other people that are too.
Yes. So it implies that we assume, at least, that that British guy is Wesley, and he will have some kind of important role coming up.
Indeed.
Although it could not be Wesley, they could be tricking us.
That's true. They could do the typical sort of case of bringing in a person during the episode for that sort of thing.
Or they could bring in Giles.
Oh, that's also true. Another person within the Buffy lore cast, as
Yeah.
it is.
Yes. So that is definitely something we should keep an eye out for.
Hmm.
Alrighty. So, for international titles for this episode, I would argue that neither of them are very good, but oh well. So, in French, it translates as the machine that stops time, which is, I mean, sure, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much right on the nose. Go ahead and break it. Why? It's rude.
And in German, it translates as the end of time.
Well, that's wrong. Time doesn't end, it just stops.
I mean, you're technically correct. The best kind of
The
correct.
best kind of correct.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Alrighty. So, if there's nothing else about this episode, next week we'll be discussing an episode that is shockingly more relevant today than it was in 2001, probably. A little episode called The Thin Dead Line.
Hmm.
Alrighty. I'm going to have some fun trivia about this episode, too. Anyway, Angel and Kate are going to investigate a squad of zombie policemen who are assaulting homeless street kids and anyone in their path.
Oh boy. Ooh, boy.
Oh, and you remember Anne from a couple episodes ago?
Yes.
Those zombie cops are going to her and some other street kids, and Cordelia, Gunn, and Wesley are going to take shelter in her shelter, and these zombie policemen are going to try to claw their way in and kill them all.
So on the one hand, typical zombie story, but also the case of throwing in the little bit of spice. They're also cops.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whether or not this episode was going to be a powder keg at the time or any sort of thing like that, I would not be surprised.
I don't know if it was at the time. We'll have to do a little research into that, but that will be something for next week. So until then, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.